Good Wednesday evening. Welcome into the High School Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score. I am Randy Rosetta. I'm sorry I missed Monday night. I apologize before the last 2 months. This Monday night and next Monday night, I'm going to be MIA because playoffs. Yeah. Coaches have started sliding games in on Mondays in the playoffs now, which I get.
Right.
So not that many venues, not that many officials, but it throws me off. I'm used to a Tuesday, Friday schedule, but we'll make it survive. Had a game last night, Tuesday, out in Wolforth, where this man, Paul Page, the Friendship Boys basketball coach, and his team won a 5th consecutive district championship. I did some research today. The first time they've finished undefeated in district since 2021.
Is it?
Yes. You've had one loss each. I don't know. You've been slacking the last 3 years. You had one loss each of those 3 years. What's going on there?
Well, it's hard. Winning is hard.
Yes, it is. Yeah. We can't all be Tony Wagner and win 90 or 91 games or whatever. When Parker Hicks and I were talking before the season, because they're in the same district with Estacado, and I said, they've lost one district game in 5 years, and you know who that team was to? And he was like, it was my Levelland team, wasn't it? I said, yeah, and I bet you he remembers too.
Right, 100%.
But you guys did not lose a game this year. I thought I mentioned this in the story that I wrote. That game last night, the game against San Angelo Central on the road, and then the 2 games against those two flipped before. Those 4 games, and all due respect to the other teams in your district, but those 4 games are very defining of what you guys accomplished the last couple of weeks. Because I don't know how far they'll go in the playoffs, but those are 2 really good 6A teams.
They really are, and we knew that coming into the district that they had been making, just based on their schedule and results, had been making waves and just in their schedule, their match game schedules, and especially with Central, they were just, you'd get the score updates from them, like, oh, they won again. And so going into the district, we knew they were going to be formidable, and of course we got them first game of district, and so that's always a scary deal. But yeah, to be able to beat them, and then Permian twice, 2 really good teams that just had really good years. I mean, they're both 25 win seasons for both of those schools, and so yeah, it's what we need to be able to play teams of that caliber, especially this late in the season, going into the playoffs.
Your friendship counterpart Trent Hilliard had mentioned that wasn't necessarily the case in the girls' district this year, and he was a little bit worried that they needed to be tested a little bit more. There's nothing you can do about it when you get into district season. It is what it is. The young man that shadowed me last night when Permian came out onto the court, and that's the first time I'd seen Permian in person. They're impressive. They are big physical young men. He looked at him. He goes, "Those guys are in high school." I said, "Yeah, just wait a minute. Friendship's got a few of those too when they come out." In fact, my wife, who is here with us tonight, Jenny, the first time she saw Patton Pinkins play, she said something. She leaned over and she said, "He's a man." I said, "Yes, he is. He looks like a man."
A few of those.
Facial hair. That's the reason he's about to play basketball in what is the best conference in the country this year, starting next year at Ole Miss. Patton's ready, and I mentioned this in my story today. I've seen him a lot, but I thought, considering the competition, considering what the stakes were, considering where we are in the season, that's about as good as I've seen Patton play.
He's had a really good last couple of weeks. I think he's really starting to feel good, feel confident. And being more explosive. I think you probably saw that last night, being more explosive and just trusting his body and his training. And so, we've noticed that in practice. Or like yesterday morning, he just, we have a 90-minute practice before school starts on game days, and he just had a great day. And we're like, can we just play right now? Can we just start it right now? He was felt like he was that ready. And then obviously you saw that last night. Probably one of his best games pound for pound throughout the season.
Because again, Permian had dudes not as good of basketball players, but as athletic guys as anybody you guys have probably seen this year. Maybe Estacado's in that same conversation.
Right. Yeah. In pound. Yeah. They're good. Just good guard play, and then with Rael Moses, number 2, who was the co-MVP with Chase last year. Just brings so much to the table, but just hats off to Daniel Gideon.
Oh yes,
that guy he took it personal. I mean, I challenged him back in September. He actually sent me a text last night after the game when he said that number 2 is coming for you. I told him in September. And so sure enough, he had that in his mind since then, that because Rael got the best of him last year, and I think he had 30 and almost 20 rebounds in that last game we played last year. So Daniel took it personal, and I was telling somebody last night, I said Daniel probably didn't get a rebound tonight.
You got a few,
but he made sure everybody else did.
Yes.
And that's what I call the unseen scene, and he did that with Rael Moses last night, and kind of just eliminated him from the offensive boards and being an offensive threat. And so hats off to him, because he's a special player, and Daniel just really he did his normal work of I'm just going to do the things that nobody else will do.
Here's, in case he's wondering, this is how he can gauge his impact. Chase Campbell was very quick to mention Daniel afterwards. Chase did his thing, and we'll talk a little bit about what Chase does for you after we come back from this break. But the first guy he mentioned was, when I asked him about rebound, he said, Daniel just dominated. And I said, yeah, Coach mentioned you didn't have a ton of rebounds, but you could dominate the glass without having a bunch of rebounds.
100%. People don't understand that, and rebound is not Daniel's talent. It's to me, it's ability to IQ somebody. And I was telling Coach Linder last night, it's like Daniel knows when that ball is about to be shot, not when it's shot. And so to me, it's an IQ thing of he anticipates the shot, so he's able to get position. I always say, do your work early, and Daniel does his work early, and that's what gives him a chance to get position on a body and allow us to rebound as a team.
I think he may have cost Chase one assist, so that was pretty good for Chase to mention him, even though he cost. But I think
that was JJ's assist. It was phenomenal.
Right. Yes,
it was phenomenal.
Right. You mentioned that,
and Daniel usually doesn't miss that.
No, he does not. We're coming up on a break here on the High School Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score. Remind you, this is Wednesday night, so we will have Friendship followed by Lubbock Cooper with Will Flemons, and then Liberty with Hannah Limmer, the second-year softball coach. Everybody at Liberty is a second-year coach. I need to stop saying that. We'll be back after this break on 100.7 The Score to talk more Friendship basketball in the Tiger Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score. This is Randy Rosetta,
bringing you the latest news from Friendship Athletics. This is the Tiger Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back into the Tiger Fan Zone. That was almost Tiger.
Say it twice.
It happens when you get older. On 100.7 The Score, I'm Randy Rosetta. I'm with Friendship coach Paul Page. We were talking a little bit about their 72-54 win against Odessa Permian last night that clinched the outright district championship for the fifth year in a row. First time they've gone undefeated since 2021. They're going to be a handful in the playoffs for whoever they face, which we find you don't know yet. You know when and where and everything else. You just don't know who yet.
Don't know who yet. First year for divisions kind of makes it interesting because.
But El Paso always comes up the works. Seems like.
Oh yeah, it'll be El Paso and but it's weird because the play-in game is Friday night, and that's El Paso Franklin and El Paso Coronado.
Okay. It
was a three-way tie for 2 spots. El Paso Montwood won the flip, so they got automatically into the playoffs. So they got one of the spots. So the fourth place play-in game is going to be between a school, Franklin, who wins will go big school,
okay,
Division I. They'll play Permian, or if Coronado wins, they'll go Division II and play us. So it's not a deal. That's what I was telling the guys earlier. It's not a deal where we could just watch this game and we get winner.
Have you seen any?
The opponent that we're playing may not even be in that game.
Have you seen either team? It's either El Paso Montwood or El Paso Coronado. Have you seen either one of them up close?
Have not.
Okay.
I have not started digging into that yet.
And
we've had our own.
Yeah, you've been busy. Try to remember which El Paso team came to your tournament.
Montwood did come,
but you didn't.
So I got to see them a little bit, and so that was the team that was here for our tournament.
But as he said, they've been busy for the last 5 weeks, winning 10 district games without a loss. And I think my stock question for you every time I've seen you is, do you like where you're at? And I'm going to guess that if I ask that again, you feel pretty good about where you guys are right now.
Right. Yeah, we just left our meeting with the guys and kind of talk to them about that. It's felt like last night was, we played a lot of games, but last night may have been our pound for pound one of the best games we played, complete games on both ends that we played all year. So, definitely feel good about that, because a lot of that was on the defensive end.
Yes.
And so that travels.
And you guys played a little bit differently, and that's what I wrote about. You guys like to go up tempo, you like to press, and your defense was still really good, but it wasn't the same kind of defense. You were the on-ball defense and in-your-face, smell-your-gum flavor defense was really good last night in half court, and then offensively, maybe that's why Patton impressed me so much, and Chase and all your guys. You were very patient, very methodical. I can maybe remember 2 or 3 mistakes. You had some turnovers, but a lot of that's Permian being really good. I just thought the way you guys played last night is going to help you when you get to the playoffs.
Right. It felt more like a college game last night with the tempo and on our side, kind of offensively, we didn't just head down and go. So we had to be a little bit more, not creative, but just a little bit more patient, as you said. And the guys bought into that, and as a result, Permian kind of pounces on bad shots, bad possessions, and you probably some of those opportunities turned into transition opportunities for them, and so we try to really eliminate that. If we can take the right shot at the right time and have a chance at the right rebound, then we get to set our defense. And you got to see that last night. When we set our defense, we were really, really good.
I'm going to talk about offense since you're talking about defense. Do you know what you shot in the second half?
I do not.
68%.
Really?
It's hard
so we
to
got
lose a
high
game.
Percentage shots that way. Yeah, and that was the goal.
You say high percentage, but that includes a couple of Patton.
Those are still
at least
high
25 footers.
If it goes up, it's got a chance.
That's true.
So we feel good about that.
Another unsung guy always for you guys is Hayden Wilson, because again, his stats don't always jump off the page when you look at him, but he's like the quarterback of your offense, especially in a game like that. He's kind of out there kind of orchestrating, and then J.J. Davis coming back healthy. You've got a two-headed monster.
Right, and so they were both huge at that spot, not just offensively, but those two guys just bring it defensively. We call them one-man presses, and so we don't have to play full court because of those two guys, what they bring to the table defensively on ball. So, Hayden Wilson did an amazing job last night, and J.J. came off the bench and did really well. Really, he's really starting to get healthy, and that's good for us.
It's not good for the teams they're going to play, and the next time they play El Paso Coronado or El Paso Montwood, that will be 2 p.m. next Tuesday at Fort Stockton High School. I'm never going to complain about driving to Fort Stockton again after driving to El Paso for a football game. Fort Stockton is absolutely okay. It's not as far as El Paso.
Right.
So
Tuesday.
And I imagine we'll be talking to Paul again because I have a feeling their season's going to go on a while. We'll be back after this break on 101.7 The Score with the Pirate Fan Zone with Will Flemons. I'm Randy Rosetta.